And
All
we're
right.
I see it.
We're off. Hey. Well, I think we are live. Welcome to the Bourbon and Blondes first Blitzed with Bourbon and Blondes. We are doing a drunk quarantine chat today with Brad. We will let you introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Thank you.
I'm Brad. Yeah, I've got a little page called Rope and Stave that I've created more as a hobby. Definitely not going to be like an influencer page or a money maker, but just having some fun and enjoying my quarantine as much as possible. So excited to be here. Had a lot of fun with these two on the St. Louis Bourbon Society page. So excited to see where these random questions go tonight.
Yeah, we thought
Scary.
Brad would be, well, first of all, Brad's lying about being an influencer. He told us earlier that he has a ring light and a webcam. And so he's like officially set up to, if anyone is interested and needs an influencer, Brad's your guy.
You're not telling everyone that I don't know how to hook it all up. So I have literally the string from the light roped around the camera to hold it up right now. So if it crashes tonight, that's what happened.
It'll be like this my cell phone.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have all the proper equipment, but we're making it work.
I mean,
I support it. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
You look you're glowing, so the ring light's working for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So funny. Okay, so since this is Blitzed with Bourbon and Blondes, do we want to take a shot?
Yeah. I found a little baby shot glass downstairs from Santorini.
All right.
I'll have to bring you some.
What are we pouring in it?
Wild Turkey 101.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. Cheers to that.
Yes. Cheers.
Camera. Clink.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
Welcome to Blitz with Bourbon and Blondes, y'all.
Here we go.
What are you drinking on, Brad? Yours was a little bit clearer.
It is. I'm usually a whiskey guy, but my true heart goes to tequila and mezcal.
Mezcal's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's funny. I do a lot of tastings with mezcal and tequilas, and every time I take a mezcal, everyone hates it. I think the transition, and I get it, because even when I first started drinking whiskey, I remember my favorite story. I was in college. I think I got to a party, and this girl poured me a Crown Royal and Coke, and it blew my socks off. The grossest thing I'd ever had.
That's fair.
Because your palate's not used to it, right? Like you literally build, just like wine drinkers, you go from sweet and you build your way up. So mezcal now to me is kind of like a foolproof bourbon or whiskey, and the smokiness and just the freshness to it. I love it, but I also understand when I take it out to taste with people, it's not for everybody. So, but I wanted to change it up a little tonight. I know we're on the Bourbon and Blondes podcast, or Blitzed tonight, but
yeah, whatever. We don't know yet.
I saw this bottle sitting on the bar behind me, and I was like, "This is what I'm drinking tonight."
Sometimes you got to let it speak to you. You know,
you do. You really you.
Especially with all those bottles hiding back there. Look at that.
Oh, they're fake. They're fake. So I work for a distributor. Those are all dummy bottles. So.
Oh, no. You got to tell us more. You got to.
No, I'm
like
kidding.
Literally, if you say come over and drink, I'm not coming.
I'm kidding. No,
that's the worst party trick ever.
No, those are real. I've been pretty blessed to be where I'm working right now for about 7 years. So throughout the years, you end up getting your hands on some good bottles, or working events where there's a little bit left over. Plus, you got a little insight on where to get some bottles. So, got the full bar behind me. So to the point where I had to build it. This is if I took a picture of this whole room, it's just a carpeted room when I moved in, and now I built the bar behind me. So,
all right,
yeah.
Was it a bedroom before, or is it like where?
I don't know.
Downstairs area? Yeah,
it's downstairs. The guy who lived here before, I think he was just like an audio tech. Like there's holes in the wall where like he had speakers, and through like you pull the baseboards off and there's like speaker wires. I don't know. I'm not sure what he did, but it's much it's much cooler now. I can tell you that.
For sure.
There's booze. We support it.
Yeah. And it looks like you're hanging out at Andre's there with the wedding
with the drapes.
with the wedding drapes behind you. So what are you up to tonight?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm literally sitting in my family room, but I don't want people to see my furniture. So thank you.
I had to get you some trouble. I had to throw a
Cool.
little shade.
Okay, well, for the shade you drink, sir.
Oh God, we're definitely gonna get trashed before the end of this.
I don't know. That's the whole idea. We can't leave our house, so it's no one's got a liability, you know.
We did a call last night with the Bourbon and BS podcast, and what was it, 3 hours in total? Yeah, it was 3 hours in total.
It was way too long.
So the first, I mean, it was awesome. Like we had a great time and it was an awesome chat. But like in the first hour and a half, I started drinking a Still 630. I was drinking a Still 630 gin can cocktail. And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I'm going to have to step up my water game because I am already drunk and we aren't even halfway through.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you guys, I want to talk about me for a second. So look at that. I'm getting some love. And you guys aren't.
Oh, thank you,
Bummer.
Sarah.
Sarah's the greatest. What was I going to say? Okay.
Off to a great start.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's drink again. What's your favorite thing on that bar? If you had to pick one
To drink forever.
yeah. Well, I mean,
you can't pick your favorite kid.
Yeah, you can.
Can you though?
My mom
if you ask my
did.
parents. Yeah, if you ask my parents, it's me.
Yeah, I think
not
for
me.
me, it's pretty rare. Like I've been in this industry with alcohol is I definitely go through phases where
Mhm.
I kind of went through like a wine phase for a long time, and I was trying to find better wines and do different things with that. And then I got into my tequila phase and mezcal phase, and now I'm kind of on this little whiskey kick. But I really don't have a favorite. It's more of like the atmosphere, what I'm doing, the people I'm around. And I'm one of those people that I love to teach. And not teach. That sounds like I'm like smart and know what I'm talking about. But like,
I mean, no teachers all know what they're talking about all the time. So
yeah, I like to educate people, but also I like to like experiment. If somebody shows up to my house and they've never had, let's say like absinthe, or if they've never had an extra añejo tequila or, a great bottle, or, like someone shows up and they're like, oh my God, I've never had Pappy. I've heard so much about it. I'm the guy that's like, let me pour you a $20 bottle right next to that and let's talk about it. Like there's so many great stories and so many great spirits out there that you just, it's not that I like fall in love with one. I've never bought one bottle over and over and over again. I've always bought things to try and experiment, So it just, to me, it's a fun industry, and that's what we all love about it, and you can take any spirit and make a great cocktail if you really try. So
when you think about like your knowledge from the very beginning, when you started in the industry to now, like
the lack of,
yeah.
I'll tell you what. So I started with, so little backstory on me. I went to hospitality management school. I was going to own my own restaurant. Right. And I ended up couple jobs, but I worked for the St. Louis Blues, and I was a food and beverage director for the Blues.
That's fun.
Yeah. It sounds fun. It's a lot of hours.
Oh,
Yeah. Especially in season, right?
Yeah. But when I switched over, I actually applied to work for a distributor when I got out of college, and I couldn't get in because you kind of got to know somebody to get into this industry. And when I saw my opportunity when I was working for the Blues, Grey Goose and Jack Daniels signed a deal with the Blues, and I was like, I was the liaison between the Blues and the distributor on like how to make this deal work and build the concession stands and make the clubs, whatever. So it was my chance to like make friends and kind of jump ship and get over to Glazers at the time, but now Southern Glazers. So I when I came over, I remember interviewing, and I had to look up products because anyone that works in bars, or not every bar, there's these mixology folks are awesome, and they know so much, even more than I know today. But you think when you work in a bar, you know the alcohol industry, and then you get to know how many brands and we call them SKUs, but SKUs are out there.
Mhm.
It's unreal.
Yep.
Like,
it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, you two drink bourbon and whiskey, and like you couldn't buy every whiskey and bourbon that's available right now.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't have any money if I tried to do that. Second of all, there's too many, so you can't.
Right. And that's the most challenging part of it is when you come over, I thought I knew something, and then I realized I know exactly what every customer knows. Like at that time when I switched over, I knew Jack Daniel's, Grey Goose, Absolute, like the mainstay brands. And then you learn there's a whole nother world or second or third tier of things that are pretty exciting out there that make great cocktails and that are just great spirits in the world. So
when you went to interview, did you like try and impress them with your knowledge and end up looking like an idiot?
I had the greatest story, and if someone's watching that worked with me, I apologize. But so when I went to interview, I was going to join the team that sold Jack Daniel's, Grey Goose, and Bacardi. So what I did before the interview, right, like any smart person, I researched,
mm-hmm.
and one of their brands was Bacardi Dragonberry. So I was like, I'm gonna put that in the back pocket. So I searched what a Dragonberry was and like learned about it, whatever. Because of course the question comes up in this industry where they're like, "Hey, do you how's your product knowledge?" Well, I told him, I was like, I'm being honest, not great, because I literally searched through Bacardi and I know what rum is, but I don't know what anything else about Bacardi is. I don't know how you make rum. I don't know anything. But I said, here's what I'll tell you is that I looked up what Dragonberry was, and I'll preference this with I don't remember, but
so we shouldn't quiz you on a Dragonberry.
No, I have no idea what a Dragonberry is today.
This is a good story.
Yeah,
you got here.
Hearing my interview, I remembered that Dragonberry was blah blah blah, and I said, at the end of the day, you need to be a salesperson where you can at least walk in the door and explain what Dragonberry is and why you should carry it and blah, blah, blah. And they were pretty impressed by it. And I was like, well, I guess that's it, right? Like I tell my salespeople all the time, if you can sit in your car 20 minutes before you like go into the account and you Googling, like I have no idea what this random aperitif from Italy is, but I can look it up. I can walk in and sell it. That's all I need. I need the personality, right? So
wait. Go ahead. You can finish your story and then I'll ask you a question.
That's pretty much it. So my knowledge was terrible, but I think I sold them on the idea that I was willing to learn. And to this day, even what I'm doing now with like the Rope and Stave app and like kind of what I see you two are doing is that like it's not a pompous, like I know everything, I'm better than you kind of attitude. No, like even the legends in this industry, and I've got to sit down with a few of them. The best part about them is they're not those people. They want to learn if they have an opportunity to hang out and learn one little bit. And that's what I love about bourbon and whiskey is they learn from each other. And if somebody figures out, like we had, I was talking to New Riff last night and he's like, we figured out a peated back, peated like finish on a bourbon that we never thought we would have and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, other distilleries are going to learn from that. And that's what's exciting. So that's what I love about the industry.
So you say you do like your quick 20-minute research right before you walk into a sales call, whatever. What'd you find when you did that with us when we were on your little live a few weeks ago?
What I learned about you two?
Yeah. In your little 20-minute research. This is going to be good because we're just a drunk mess, really, most of the time.
That's what he figured out.
Pretty much. 3 things.
Oh,
3? Oh, there's 3.
I'm just making this. I'm a sales guy. Just making this up. 3
they
things.
all apply to you, Abby.
Yeah. Number 1, there's really no direction. It'll change at any moment. Number 2, you two are both like what I love, and what I love about the people that I've met with like the St. Louis Bourbon Society and people around the industry. Some of my favorite bartenders and bars around is it's the people, right? Like
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what you're producing per se. Yes, you have to have good quality, but it's more about the just overall who you are.
Okay.
To me, that's important, and I can come back to that in a second. But
Uh-huh.
the third thing that I liked about you guys is that it wasn't just about whiskey or bourbon or your podcast. It's about like empowering people, and
Mhm.
to me, that's important. I every time I go out to do a tasting or I get in front of people, it's not about the brand that I'm pitching or the sales side of things. It's about getting people interested in what the spirit industry is, more or less. So,
Mhm. Okay.
yeah. And you're a mess. I mean, overall.
Yeah. Well, why?
You should have seen me this week. Mess is like a very kind way to describe how I was in the last 5 days.
It's quarantine. Yeah.
Oh God, it's the worst.
Can we talk about
post-quarantine?
Can we talk about the penguin? What's going on behind you, Elena?
Yeah. So, we're gonna name him Carl just for this. I haven't named him. Here we go.
You could not come up with anything
Is that
better?
a Toy Story thing? That's Toy Story, right?
Does it look? Maybe it is Toy Story. So my brother gave it to me for. I have no clue. I
don't even know where it came from.
No, I know my brother gave it to me for Christmas. So we traveled with. He had a stuffed monkey that we backpacked through Europe with, and when I think it was like a year or so after that. This is like 10 years ago, or God, maybe longer, 12 years ago, where we did that. And so he gave me this little guy to travel with, and I don't think he's ever made it out of the bedroom yet, but he's fancy. He's a fancy penguin. I like really odd random things, and penguins have to be like one of them. I've got I can't move the camera, but I'll end up knocking everything off the table. But I've got like a penguin pillow, like it's a pillow pet. Hold on.
Are you like into penguins? Is this a thing?
You've been to my house 1,000 times.
I don't pay attention to your fluffy things.
You've slept on her penguin sheets before.
Probably.
Right in my car bed. You've taken a drunk nap in my car bed.
No, if we record a lot of podcasts in a day, I'm not moving. I'm just at Elena's.
I got a question for you two.
Bring it on.
Me. So I know the story of how you met and came together. What I want to know the opposite. Like, what's the yin and yang of you two? Like, what does one of you do well, or the other one does well, or what drives you kind of crazy about each other too? Because what I've seen,
this could get fun.
But what I've seen of you two is like you're very close, but you have very different personalities. So hit me with how this works as a duo, because I don't think I would do.
Is that how you spell yin?
Look at that banner.
Yeah.
Is that how you spell it?
We're gonna give Abby the slow clap for she mastered this program like in
5
10
seconds before we went live.
Let's get the yin and yang going. Here we go.
Elena, you go first.
Okay, well, I'll start. So it's funny. Last night on the podcast we were on, he used the word balance, which we've used in a podcast before on season 1. And I just loved Abby's response. She's like, "Yeah, that's not a thing." I was like, "I don't." And she's like, I don't have balance. It's a very difficult to obtain for me. And I think that's probably where, I'll be very transparent. When we first met, we decided to do the podcast. And we try to approach it like a business, regardless if we're making money or not, just because even if it's a hobby, you want to show up professional, and if you're interviewing people, you just, you want to show up the best way you can. And people will.
Showered today.
Nice. I did.
Oh my God, thank you.
Thanks, Brad. I use dry shampoo. I literally smell like a cigar from last night. So I woke up this morning. I was like, oh, I could smell my own hair. I was like, this is
time to
terrible.
Wash the sheets and throw away the bed and all of it.
Throw away the whole thing. But it was a struggle when we first started because we have very different communication styles.
Sure.
And I know Abby can contest to this too. So I don't always like I'm not upfront about my feelings. So sometimes people have to pry it out of me. And I think Abby's sometimes the same way as well. And so, but she's a bit more straightforward with literally everything. That's why I love her, because like she says what I'm thinking all the time. Like if somebody walks past and they're being an asshole, she'd be like, look at this asshole. And I'll be like, I was just thinking that.
Right.
But
it gets me into trouble more than it's worth.
you know, what's life without being in a little bit of trouble?
Yeah.
But I mean, so I think we're still like figuring it out, like a relationship, you know, we're like, there were parts where it was, and we both get stressed. Like when we both get stressed, we're like up here, like we both can't be stressed at the same time because we have like,
neither of us have like this chill factor where people are like, oh, it's fine. It's cool. Whatever. I'm stressed. It'll be great. No, we like freak out. And the other one is like left to deal with it. Like, okay, calm down. It's fine. I'll take care of it. Whatever. Get over it. Move on.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, no, totally agree. And so it's like, it reminds me of The Office, that episode when everything caught on fire and they're like, oh my God, everybody get out of the office. That's like literally what it's fine. Everything's fine. That's when me and Abby are upset about something. It's like,
so which one of you is throwing the cat into the ceiling?
I don't touch cats. So probably Elena.
Who's Angela? That's what I would remember.
Oh, that probably is me. Yeah, it's probably me.
I'm usually Kevin who drops the chili.
Can we just cut her out of the rest of this and we'll just have some fun? I mean,
yeah.
We're really bad people.
Yeah. Bye. God, we're hilarious. It's just constantly a mess, but you know, we figure it out, right?
I mean, I'll use the example of earlier before we jumped on the call. I was like, this is just the organized. I'm an event planner as one of my 1,000 jobs. So like organization and thinking, kind of like what you said, Brad, like even if it's 10 minutes before, I like to go in like 3 hours early. And I like to like take notes, and I sent Abby a message. I was like, well, I was going to write an agenda and for this call. And I was like, maybe we'll just wing it. And Abby's on the wing it side of things. So, you know, keeps me honest.
Big time. Because I mean, why not? Right? Like you get more exciting content.
How do you feel?
Also, I just don't have time to prepare. So there's that. How do I feel about our yin and yang? I don't know. I'll let you know.
It's good. It's whatever.
Get there. I mean, it's like anybody. It's like we have a friend who's like, okay, for any relationship to last, you need 4 seasons and a vacation. So we're almost through 4 seasons, but we haven't gone on vacation together. So TBD.
All right.
I mean, we went to Louisville together and I came back with a scar that I can't get rid of. So technically.
Okay, so we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
We're in it to win it now.
Yin and yang right here. I'll be yang.
Yeah, I think that's probably appropriate.
Yeah. You are definitely like yang for sure.
I don't even know.
I don't know why.
Thank you. Yeah. So Brad, we are here. We're here for our little drunk quarantine series of our podcast. In 45 seconds, explain the coronavirus COVID-19 quarantine situation.
We're also not timing you, so go. In your own personal life, like not how,
like,
not
just, you know.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
Well, you don't have to go into the science of it. Just like be like, oh, well, I haven't left my house in 4 weeks, so it's weird. I don't like it.
For me, and especially in my industry, it's been pretty weird. So I'm an on-premise manager, which is basically bars. So I call on my team. I'm a district manager, but I call on bars, restaurants, hotels, Busch Stadium, Enterprise Center. So anywhere where you can drink, open container, right? We call that on-premise. There's on-premise and off-premise, where off-premise is a store. So for my team, it's not been good, right? Like our sales, as soon as they close down, it's been rough. So
nobody buying, nobody drinking. It's brutal for the industry.
Yeah, and it's been really tough, especially because and I've worked both on and off premise. I've worked in the stores, but in on premise, you get to know, and you guys know this, but like you get to know the bartenders, you get to know the owners of these places, and it's different than a store where you like every order and every time you sit at the bar, it means something to these people, right? Like it's their paycheck. Where a store, and nothing against stores, like obviously I shop all the time and my local Schnucks is a phenomenal place, but to them, their paycheck is I worked so many hours and I showed up. Where these bars and these restaurants are, it means something when you show up and you sit at their bar and you have a cocktail with them because it's their livelihood. And that's what's so important to them. So for my team, it's been a really hard like pill to swallow that we're getting calls from these restaurateurs and they're not sure how they're going to pay their bills. They're not sure even at the end of this, if they get to open, that's great. But also they don't know if I can open, but only at quarter capacity,
right?
Restaurants, make it? Yeah. Like restaurants aren't built to make money almost. And here's a secret, but I wanted to own my own restaurant, and then I got into restaurants, and I was a GM at a few restaurants, and there's not the margin to make money is so small that if you're not busy all the time, it's very tough to make money. So
it's awful.
Yeah. So you end up like during these times, even if they get to reopen, and the beauty of what I love about Missouri right now is most of these places are going to reopen, right? Like not this week, but maybe by the 18th, they're going to reopen. But if they can only reopen at half capacity, they're missing out on so many sales. And it's really tough for my team because what I love about the people that work with me and work on premise is that we care. Like it means something to us to go in and talk to the bar manager, the bartender. Like those are our friends, more or less. And it's tough. Like it's really tough to get the phone call that says like, hey, I want to reopen, but I owe you money. And you're like, yeah, like this is a brutal time for all of us because we need money. You need money. Like
you need booze. Everybody's hurting.
Yeah. Like it's just not, it's not where we want to be for sure. But I will say I'm very excited. And I've had, Missouri announced the other day that the 18th, that most places will be able to reopen. And it wasn't not that it wasn't as bad because it's been terrible, right? Like everyone's furloughed. My team's furloughed. Like it's just not good. But brutal. Yeah, but I feel like it wasn't long enough that people have just been like, we're shutting our doors, right? Like we're closed.
Yeah.
So I feel like if everyone goes out when everyone reopens, if everyone goes and supports their local bar, supports their local restaurant, they have a chance. And that's all we can ask for right now is like, at this point, we don't care what you're buying. Just go. Like, pick up 2 tacos. I don't care if it's, forget the booze. Like, get some tacos, show them some love, and hopefully we bounce back. Yeah. Like, there's been very few accounts you guys watch. Like, I know you watch the news, but like, there's been very few accounts that have just said, we're done. Like, we're closed. And we're lucky. Because in New York and these other places where they may not get to open for another 3 or 4 months, like it's the beauty of the Midwest. And I'm excited to see like we have such a good food and beverage scene in St. Louis.
Yeah, and the food is crazy.
Yeah, and we have so many good bartenders and I mean whatever they want to call themselves, mixed out like such creative. Yeah, our food's phenomenal too. Like I don't know. I think some of the restaurants over the years, some have closed and some are still open, like are some of the best restaurants I've been to in the world. Like New York has, my sister lives in New York. So I've been in New York probably a million times. And there's of course a lot of amazing people that come out of New York. Yeah. Just a few times. But yeah, when flights were, which they are now like $130, I used to go up there like every weekend. But yeah, I mean, I think we have, I mean, like Indo, for example, I remember going there
so good.
A few months ago. I mean, Savage. I mean, like just it's experience based. It's like a whole food experience. And I think we take that for granted. And maybe coming out of quarantine, we may not be so into our phones during something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, my screen time has changed from, I think the first week that Sunday when I got my screen, it said 8 hours a day. I was like, that's
a lot, Elena.
Sleeping? I'm like, and now it's gone down by like 3 hours. So, you know.
That's hilarious.
To 5 hours.
Right. Yeah. I'm hoping that some of those apps running in the background they're accounting for, but I'm not so sure about that.
Not a thing.
It's like the quarantine weight. I'm just like hoping it's some water weight and some baby weight from as a child or something like that.
I mean, that's what I love about St. Louis is like every year we have 2 or 3 places that pop up. They could survive in New York or Vegas, right? Like, I mean, a good example to me is like Bull Rush. I don't know if you guys have been there.
Oh my God, so good. Their cocktails look amazing. I've only had like 2 of them.
They don't use citrus. Like, good luck making a cocktail without citrus. But like,
they do
those are the type of things that like St. Louis is very blessed to have, and it's so fun to be where we are right now. And that's what sucked is and I've told people this all last year. I was like, St. Louis is. We're making the turn, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, oh shit! Like it's
it's fine. Cuss, let it out.
Yeah,
listen, you guys, it's your time to express. Come on.
Yeah, but like it's like oh shit right now. Like we have the Foundry getting ready to open, right? Like we have the aquarium up and running. We had like so many things going on in St. Louis, and you're just like, damn it! Like we were finally making that turn that. Not only is our food and beverage scene great, but also like tourism's coming back. And
just stuff is opening and people are excited about the city again. So
I have to personally say I'm very, very sad about the Battlehawks. I'm not a sports fan, but I was all on. I mean, I'm a sports fan. Like, woohoo, yeah, I'll watch at Midwestern, you know, go get drunk there on a Sunday. But like what we call the Bermuda Triangle, like we start at Midwestern and then we end up at Start Bar, and I mean maybe Tin Roof you get really fucked up, but and I'm really sad when they said I was hoping that they were going to come back with another season, but that was exciting to have that. I mean, we were actually supposed to go to that game the next weekend. Yeah.
I mean the place is sold out. Like it's crazy.
I know.
St. Louis, that's what I love, and I've traveled a lot. And I know a couple. You know, I know you guys have traveled too, but like St. Louis is home to me, and we always get the bad press of like it's the crime's so bad, and it's one of the most dangerous cities. And I'm like, it's not though. Like St. Louis is the coolest place to me. I've traveled all over, and our little pocket neighborhoods, like you can't beat the Hill and Soulard and Central West End, and like
everybody's got their own little thing going on.
Yeah, and like we were right there to like turn, and I just hope that all these restaurants and all these different things going on survive so that we can just keep building, because I really feel like and you've probably seen, but like if you've been to Kansas City lately, like they've made that turn. So I feel like now we're a year or 2 out from that turn. And if we can just survive this, we will be that next like up and coming city, you know?
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. I drove around the other day, speaking of quarantine, just had to get out of the house, and I drove around looking at the MLS stadium, just like seeing the construction, just driving around. It's kind of crazy seeing.
Wait, are they already building it?
Yeah,
they already started digging out. And then working on like the highway portion, because they're going to change the highway up at 64, the exit after mine, off Chestnut or something. So I will say to your point about traveling, like I traveled a lot through my 20s, and I mean, still travel a lot, but in my early 20s, I also didn't live in the city. So I'll preface by saying that, but I didn't ever appreciate St. Louis for what it had to offer. And it took me quite a few years. First of all, our cost of living alone is just stupid. Like what my sister gets up in, she lives in Long Island in New York, what she gets for $400,000 in New York City. And that's probably not a great example because it's one of the most expensive places to live, but like what she gets living in Long Island to what we can get for $400,000 living even in downtown St. Louis is just, it's, you know, crazy. And even the food and beverage, like what you would be I mean, food's expensive in New York, rightfully so. Rent's astronomical for restaurants, but like, you know, beverages here, like, you know, you go to Planner's house and you can get a cocktail for, you know, 10, $11, and then they've got great happy hour on top of it, Sundays, all day happy hour, which is amazing. But
can't be mad at that.
Yeah. And so I started to really appreciate it. And then when I moved down here, I guess like 4 years ago, and actually it's going to be really hard to pull me out. I'm in Lafayette Square. It's going to be hard to pull me out of this neighborhood because it's like a small, big town. Like I have so many friends that live in the neighborhood. It's like living in a suburb in the neighborhood. I'll go in the park and I'll like know, you know, people that live in McKinley Heights. And when you go hang out in the restaurants in your neighborhood, it's like Cheers, like 33 Wine Bar we love going to, and it's in Lafayette Square off Park Avenue. And it's like, you know, it's like every time we walk in, it's like Norm.
You know a Norm?
Well, no, Cheers. I watched Cheers a lot growing up. That's a total side note, but okay.
I've never seen it in my life, but that's okay. We'll just move right along.
Was it Channel 9? Like it was like Cheers and MASH and like not Channel 9. What was Channel 11? I can't remember.
Not 9. 9 was PBS.
Oh yeah,
that was Bob Ross. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Bob Ross and what's his face? Rogers.
Well, that brings up a good point though. Like with St. Louis, and what I love about St. Louis is, and we talk about this all the time in my industry, is that pricing, right? Like a bottle of vodka across the country probably costs about the same, right? Like if you want to order a Tito's vodka cocktail, that bottle from here to Vegas is about the same. But in Vegas, that's going to cost you $22. But that's the beauty of St. Louis is like you can get that bottle for, you know, or you can get that cocktail for next to nothing. Like you can $5-6. And that's the cool thing that St. Louis can bring right now is their food and their beverages at such a great cost. And our chefs here and our mixologists here are phenomenal.
They're so great. They really are.
There's a reason that every year we end up on like the top cities, like food and beverage scenes that we should hang out in. And kudos to them because they're phenomenal. And I every day they open a new restaurant, I'm just amazed, you know? So
it's always good.
So in terms of quarantine personally, like you talked about work and dug into, you know, the job side of things. How are you managing things like being at home?
Let's get right into it. What's the weirdest habit you've had during this quarantine period? Because we all develop weird habits when we're not in social settings. Like you do some weird things.
I literally have a ring light right there.
You've become an influencer.
I have a microphone. I mean, who am I right now? Like I'm a person to person like salesperson. Like my love is to go visit people and talk and teach about spirits, but like this is not me. Like it sucks, and I love being here tonight, but like I hate 7 to 9 p.m. where it's like this is our normal now, right? Like YouTube, I know YouTube feel the same way, but like our normal is to be like interacting with people in a bar or hanging out with friends, or you know, it's just I don't know. Like I've done more walks. I feel like I'm like the typical, right? Like I walk my dog more, and I've like worked out at home more, but like this just isn't me, and I'm ready to be done with it and get out to like normal. Let's just get back to the next normal, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So, what about you two?
Abby, you want to go first, or you want?
No.
Okay.
We all drank more, right? I don't.
Yes and no. I drank a lot before this, so. I mean,
is it really a comparison? No, because we're still drinking and doing a drinking podcast. So, you know, the drinking part's not.
Yeah, I will say I've explored more.
Wait, should we have more wild turkey?
Yeah, I was about to say we can do another little shot.
All right, I'm going to get some wild turkey because I feel like I'm not joining you. But this is
Was that literally within arm's reach?
I don't want to kill it, but that's decades.
That's nice. This for those of you who are watching, like this Wild Turkey 101 is a pretty good price point, and it's delicious. Like, and it's great. I wanted to get something to put into cocktails, and I got Old Granddad and the Wild Turkey because I wanted to nostalgically make myself bourbon renewals from Midwestern. So that's
Elena brought me those, and I got very, very drunk because she makes them quite strong.
Is that the bourbon or the rye?
This is the bourbon.
Oh, yeah. We got the 101 rye.
No,
tell us more. Need to. It's always out when I go.
So 101 rye. Can I tell you a story real quick?
Do tell.
But you can give me a bottle.
I have one. It's over there.
Abby's like, I'll be right over.
101 rye is it is in stores, but it's not like distributed in stores heavily. But it's built for bartenders because they were going to kill the brand actually at the beginning, but they only release it in liters, which is rare because stores obviously sell 750s. So the 101 rye to me is like their flagship. That's not their flagship. Obviously the bourbon is, but you can't beat the 101 rye. So we got to get you guys a bottle of that.
Heck,
bring it on.
We'll put it on a podcast. Just let us know. Do you guys have anything in the portfolio for a creme de cassis? Like, this is all I could find. I need to go to Intoxicology and find one. It's okay, but it's very like corn syrupy. I know.
I feel like that's like a very strange thing to like.
So let me tell you a secret.
Yes,
we're into making money. That is not making money. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
that's
because
fair.
who walks into a store is like, can I have some creme de cassis or whatever the fuck it's called?
Yeah.
Or Cassie's. I don't know. I don't even know.
$12, and we've never heard of it. Here you go. No.
Yeah.
We have
Tony.
We have a few, obviously, but no, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Tony suggested, I forget, it's some like French name. I had to like Google it, but I need to call Intoxicology and see if they have it because he said that Total definitely doesn't carry it and Randall's doesn't either, I don't think. But
does Amazon?
Anyway, that's a good point. I don't know. I did get my
that's a great lead-in question.
Oh, what are we leading into?
Yeah,
so everyone right now is ordering online, right?
Yeah. Who are you ordering through?
Have you? No, I'm not gonna time out. Have you ordered online and have you been successful with it?
Yes.
Ordered anything? Like anything online?
I'll put it this way. I ordered something. It came from overseas, Switzerland and France. I really wanted something that I couldn't get here in the States. And it's been like a month and a half and I haven't seen it. So
but probably the post office is like holding it.
Yeah, it's probably being held in customs.
Yeah.
I used to do international shipping.
We all know that's illegal, right?
Yeah.
What's illegal? Ordering from another country?
Or did you order from Amsterdam or like?
No, you can't ship alcohol.
What did you order?
Then you probably may not see it. Yeah. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can't. Because I made this mistake where I got a gift for somebody for work. I bought 3 bottles of like Chivas and I was sending them out as listen, this was 10 years ago. I didn't know what I was doing. It wouldn't have been the optimal gift I would have given. But anyway, and I got to the FedEx, who I had a really good relationship with because I ship with all the time. And they're like, I don't know how they knew there was alcohol in there. It probably like dinged or something. They're like, is that alcohol in there? Yeah, we can't ship that. Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
wait, but then how does people like Cass Cartel?
They have a license to ship.
Oh.
Yeah, because
it's still illegal, but they'll just ship it and hope for the best.
I mean, I've gotten everything alcohol-wise that I've ordered online.
Yeah.
Well, because you've gotten small. Oh, you're talking about. I thought you were talking about people sending us samples. Although, like
all of it, bottles, samples, everything.
Distilleries have a license though to be able to ship those kind of things, but they have to. That's why a lot of wineries, they either have to make you be in like a wine club, or a lot of them are like, you got to buy here or you're not going to get it because they won't ship. And then Brad,
wait, you guys, someone is supporting our drink of choice, so drink up.
Heck yes, 101.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we'll do a little cheers.
I like
Another
John.
little
Cheers, John. John's the
cheers,
greatest.
John.
I'm not drinking that, but okay.
Dad's drinking
wait.
bourbon is so fun. We love them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted your story about people stealing your shipments.
No, it's okay. No, back to Brad's question, because I don't think we really touched on it. The weird stuff that we started doing in quarantine. I'll tell you a little bit of. I was telling
penguins.
Yeah. Well, this has been a thing for a long time.
No, that's normal. That's not strange.
Yeah.
Elena is penguins.
No, I'll tell you what. I worked at Gala one time from an event planning, we were doing the event and I didn't have time to bid on it, but they had a St. Louis Zoo penguin package. So if anyone's watching and you have a hookup at the St. Louis Zoo, let me know. I used to work there in catering. Oh, well, hello.
We should talk more, you know.
Yeah, you know. I would love, I want to go to South Africa anyway, but I'm going to go to like South Africa and go on the beach just to see the big, like the penguin beach, like specifically. Anyway, that was way before quarantine. I was weird about penguins.
I feel like that's not relevant to your weird habits in quarantine.
Yeah, no. So I decided like a lot of,
Let's start over.
Yeah, I picked up gardening, which I always wanted to do. I have the patience of a 4-year-old toddler, like a child. So gardening to me always was a really cool concept and I've worked in the agricultural industry and I've worked with farmers for 12 years now. So I've worked in it, just not done it. My grandparents were farmers. They have land down in the Boot Hill of Missouri. Boot Hill.
Say it right. Come on, you got people down there.
Boot Hill.
Oh, look how cute this is. We're getting more love than our podcast that we did last night. Hey, Ryan.
I've officially watched more of this than we had Bourbon and BS last. Well, when a podcast is for 3 hours, I don't blame you. Yes. So I gardening. Yeah. And I found a strawberry this morning that was starting to I know it's weird things.
What are you going to do? Like eat it?
Yeah. You pick it and you eat it.
What kind of question is that?
Well, but is it going to grow to be the size of like the grocery store ones? Because like in high school, I grew them and they were like teeny tiny little shits. And you're like, oh no, I'm not eating that. That's not cute.
That it's a risk you take when you garden for yourself. But I mean, to the point it's getting so bad that I'm going up to like flower and weeds and Maypop garden, like I'm looking on their website every single day to figure out which new house plant. Like this one I got from the nursery in Richmond Heights. It's a palm. I wanted to feel like I was on the beach without, you can't leave your house. So
you're in St. Louis, there's no beaches.
Yeah. And then I started to try to learn Spanish too, which was interesting. So yeah. So what else did I?
Spanish and strawberries.
Yeah, Spanish and strawberries. Yeah. And I worked on resanding the table. I'll have to put a before and after. I was really proud. Me and my grandpa built this table. So I came to him like 5 or 6 years ago. He's a woodworker. He used to be an engineer at Boeing. And I mean, the man, it's crazy how he used to be able to like build planes and rockets, but he doesn't know how to use his printer at home as he's like 80, he'll be 88 or 89 next week. But so I showed him a planter box and I was like, I want 3 of these planter boxes, this size from Home Depot to go into a table. And he like constructed the whole thing on paper and like wrote out what all the boards needed to be and everything. And we just started building it. And I never stained it, because like all things.
Is this your grandpa?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got
I learned so much from my grandfather, and that's cool that like even if something gets passed down, like that's a generational gap, right? Like even if you learned one bit, that's fun.
Yeah, they did things more hands-on. I mean, my parents are hands-on as well, but like my grandpa has never lived in a house or owned a house that was never built by his own bare hands.
Huh.
And so the house they live in now in St. Charles was built by them. They lived in a house in near Northwest Plaza that he built. the house my parents live in, they all built like before, it was like 3 years before I was born. So yeah, is because it was funny. My mom was helping me garden because I have no clue, and they actually have a garden. And so I brought everything. So my poor mother. I bribed her with like the gin, the Still 630. Hi, Liz. I like bribed her with the gin Still 630, and I was like, hey, Mom, can you we went out to the nursery and got a bunch of like vegetables and everything, the herbs and stuff. And I wanted to make my own simple syrups too. So we got it all to the house, and she's going to put it in my car. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm putting it in your car. Are you going home? I said, no, you're helping me plan all this. She's like, oh,
you planted it at her house?
Yeah. And then we put it
That's
back in
not
my
your
car.
garden. That's her garden.
Well, I bought some stuff, and she bought some stuff to plant it in her garden. But no, we had the big planters that I brought out to her house.
You
and
Venmo'd her.
Yeah, I was like, she goes,
hey, Mom, can I Venmo you $50 for all these plants?
Yeah. Okay, we have a garden. Here's $20. Here.
She's like, oh, I thought you were going home. I was going to eat dinner with your dad. And I was like, yeah, no, you're going to help me with this. Thank you. This is what it's like. Still the favorite, though. Just saying.
Just saying. That's hilarious.
But yeah.
Oh my God. You guys, we've been on this live for 15 minutes. Should we do rapid fire questions?
I think so.
Wait, should I get my hat? Wait, hang on.
Oh, yeah. Me and Abby decided, she showed up with a hat. So I decided to wear a hat. Do you have a hat?
It's not a hat. It's flowers. It's a lei.
You didn't tell me there was going to be hats.
Well,
guys, wear one.
You can have 30 seconds to go find one in your house.
Oh, that'll be, actually, I got you. Go ahead. Ready? Tell me go.
I'm going to start and go. You look like the Chiquita Bonita, but like banana lady with like the whole thing. Mine's just
I remember I was gonna wear this to either. Oh, there we go. Yeehaw! Here we are.
You ever been to Game 6 Honky Tonk?
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
I love it.
It's so much fun. This is my hat. It stays in the bar. I love that
Those
place.
guys, they used to run one of the posts.
That's false, but okay.
It is.
I like it.
It looks like you all are in a Renaissance festival, is what Melissa said.
Okay, Melissa, you know what?
Hear ye. There you go.
It's a cowboy hat and flowers. Nobody had this in the Renaissance. They had petticoats and corsets.
All right.
Okay, rapid fire questions. Elena, you ask Brad first.
The best country bar in St. Louis.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Right down there by Broadway Oyster Bar and
yeah. All right.
Love you.
Yeah.
Fire away.
Fun. Brian and Jeremy. Hey.
All right.
Go.
Okay. So we will start off with, what is your fondest bourbon memory, Brad?
So
this is rapid fire. You answer quickly.
Well,
I was trying. You yelled at me.
Well, you're like, oh,
Christ.
well,
you know how I feel.
Okay. Jesus. So my best bourbon memory, I had the pleasure of having Jimmy Russell from Wild Turkey, which is what you're drinking. He came to St. Louis, and I got to eat dinner with him at what used to be, it's Nixta now. Do you know where Nixta is?
Yeah, I love that place.
Yeah, so Nixta used to be called Old Standard, and it was like a bourbon bar.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yeah.
So we took Jimmy Russell there from Wild Turkey, the master distiller, and we had dinner there. And my favorite bourbon memory was I was newer to the game. I was like maybe a year into this industry. And I was like, Jimmy, I just need to know, like, I get asked all the time, like, well, how do you drink bourbon? Is it like on the rocks? Is it a cocktail? Is it neat? And Jimmy Russell, straight across the table from me, was like, Brad, there's only 2 ways to drink bourbon. And he goes, it's with your right hand or your left hand. Like,
that's amazing.
That's the greatest fucking answer you've ever heard, right? Like, he's like, I don't care how you drink my bourbon, just drink bourbon. It's delicious. And I was like, yep, I'm in, And that turned me.
It's like the least pretentious way to answer. We were talking about this the other day. Like,
I can't keep this on. Go ahead.
Is it too hot?
On.
No, it's over. That moment has passed.
Okay, so then go get some flowers and put one in your head.
I got a whole garden of them. If you want one, Brad, I'll send it your way.
Thank you. Send them
This
my
was-
way.
This was.
All right, go
this
ahead.
was
Wait, my
literally-
question.
Yeah,
My
go
question.
ahead.
Can you cross your eyes and show us?
I think
Yeah,
so.
Can you do that?
It'll work?
Abby, let's see
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do it because you do it so well. I need a photo of that. Hold on. We're gonna hold on.
Oh,
one
we're
second.
okay. We're doing this.
We just went from
Wait,
40
go ahead.
viewers.
You do it at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Done.
Okay,
All right.
that took forever. Elena,
Yep.
your question. Go. You guys, you're supposed to be
Fa-
faster.
favorite childhood show?
Is that to me?
Yeah, you,
Mhm.
Brad.
We're asking you questions.
Yeah, you-
I don't even know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I don't
Okay.
know.
All right.
Okay,
all right.
turtles. That's
Like
weird.
a child? I don't know. Blue's Clues. That's taking a turn for the worst. Have you guys watched Blue's Clues
you know
lately?
rapid fire questions
They
are.
No. changed up the
I'm new.
guy,
I'm
didn't
new.
they?
I'm new here. I'm new.
They changed the guy up, didn't they? Like,
yeah,
oh,
it's not. It's not the same. It's just not the
Yeah.
same.
Okay.
mail time. Anyway, go ahead.
My question next. Worst type of alcohol. Go.
Worst type?
Yeah, like what's the worst alcohol you've ever had?
Yeah, it doesn't even need to be typed.
I'm
Just-
just not a fan of grappa. Yeah.
Shut up. Oh, I love grapes.
It's fair.
Okay,
Yeah,
next,
and
Elena, go.
3
Yeah.
words to describe yourself.
Charming.
Ha.
Influential. Because I have a ring light and
He goes,
persuasive.
Okay.
Interesting.
I like it.
Who's your biggest man crush? Go.
Man crush.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, I can dig it.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, what is something you're tired of?
COVID.
Fair.
Goddamn truth
That's
right
easy.
there.
Yeah.
That's easy. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cheers to.
Oh, what's your biggest pet peeve?
When people say it is what it is.
Oh, it's so
Ah.
annoying. I say that
Oh,
a lot.
Yeah, I say that a lot too. And now we're gonna end the fucking segment like that. So you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
No,
Fuck
they-
it
how many
is what it
questions have we
is.
asked?
It can
No,
be
no.
it can be so much better. That's
No.
all I look at.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Can we, hold on. Can we just take a moment with you two on the screen with your flower hats right now? It's amazing. It's like Derby, but you missed it by a week.
I know.
It's fine.
I know.
We showed up eventually.
I have hats specific for events. Like I don't
Alright.
have a lot of hats, but
Wait,
Yeah,
no, I have one more question for Brad.
I want to rapid fire you, but go ahead.
Wait,
one more.
Okay.
one more question, then you can do us.
All right. Whoa. Easy.
Okay.
what,
Calm down.
what
This is public information.
do you?
What is the adjective that best describes you when you're drunk?
Oh,
Oof. Sarcastic, probably.
that is what I like most about you, Brad. Is
Mhm,
the sarcasm.
Yeah, it is. You know what's weird? And can we am
Yeah,
I okay to
sidebar. Yep. mhm.
elaborate? But you know what I love about people in St. Louis? We all are sarcastic, but when you
Mhm.
travel, there's a lot of people that don't understand our sarcasm in St. Louis, and people just think you're an asshole. And like
Mhm.
I've been told that many times. I used to work for the PGA Tour, the golf tournaments,
Mhm.
Ooh.
and I would travel all over, and people just thought I was a dick. And like I
Well,
was like, no, it's just like a joke. It's like sarcasm, and I can like rebuttal jokes, and they don't get it. So that's what I love about St. Louis. Is like we have that little bit of sarcasm, and that's me.
I agree. I feel like you should be able to give people a hard time without being so fucking sensitive. Like
Right.
everyone can be sensitive. We all have our press points. And I think it's important to be like, all right, you're crossing a boundary or whatever, and just be honest about it, because everybody's got a threshold, right? But like, I think it's fun to give each other shit, because I don't know, that's how I grew up.
Right.
Like, that's how we showed love in my family. We were like, we were mean to each other, like real fucking mean, like so bad to the point of like, damn, do you even like them? Like, so
you have to keep each other in check, right? Like,
you have to. You're related.
Like, why do you have drapes behind you? I gotta call you out. But like,
okay,
I understand it. I get it, but
you can't even see them now.
I'm gonna call you out about it, right?
You can't see the drapes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. You got a bouquet
no
on
drapes.
top of your head.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so my question for you two.
Okay.
Wait, we're both answering?
Yeah, we can both. Yeah,
I don't know how to do this. Can I like fire shoot one of you? You one of you?
Yeah,
or
say,
I don't know.
Elena this, Abby this, Elena this, Abby this.
All right, Abby.
Okay.
Campfire or candlelight?
Campfire.
All right. Elena, same question.
Campfire.
All right, bourbon girls. Okay, right? Like you got a little country, right?
I just won't camp for too long at a festival. There's too many.
No,
dirty
like
hippies.
there has to be a shower.
Who said anything about a festival?
I don't know. I'm wearing a I'm wearing a Coachella crown. So
if you go to a festival, it's called the Hillsborough State Fair. That's not a festival.
Why out of all the state fairs, that is like the least optimal you picked?
But they got Joe Diffie. They had Joe Diffie a few years ago or something. I don't know.
Okay, next question, go.
All right, next question.
Abby's cracking the whip.
There's no cracking whip. Other than bourbon, I'm gonna ask you both this because you're bourbon and blondes, right? You didn't get there from nowhere, but like, what else are you drinking?
Tequila.
Yeah. I like love mezcal because I like smoky. I like some scotches, you know, like any whiskey or bourbon. Like there's some that you like, some that you don't. We both, Abby and I, we should, if we have to rename the podcast ever, it'll be like, does not fucking like vodka. Like just absolutely not. We both hate, and I've had vodka I liked. In all fairness, I've gone 2 places and they've
no.
I was well, no. I've gone to there was a 1920s festival in New York, and there was a distillery that did everything, and he had you try like the white dog, he had you try the gin, he had to try the vodka. I don't know if it was potato vodka or what it was, but it actually was like, it was good. And he goes, if vodka makes you grimace, like it's not done well. I mean, I guess you could probably make that same account for some other things. Like everyone grimaces at different things. Like if somebody drinks a barrel strength, they may grimace, but other people may be like, this is very delicious. But yeah, that was a long answer on that. But I actually love
this. Is not rapid fire question. Go.
I love bubbly because I can't afford champagne. I'm oftentimes reminded.
What's your favorite champagne?
Wait, you can't afford champagne. Is that what you just said?
I said, what's your favorite?
Yeah, I said that.
I'm a Prosecco girl.
I said champagne.
Oh, I mean,
come on.
I don't know if I've had.
Oof. All right, we'll let it go.
I will say,
rapid fire, guys, go.
Total side note: the rosé, the Pinot Noir grape rosé, is like my favorite type of rosé. Like
delicious.
Yeah,
good choice. All right. So
we'll respect it.
Other follow-up question, and forget the fact that like you have some favorite bars, you have some favorite places to go, but like, what is your like? If you opened a bar, what does it look like? And don't say like Midwestern, right? Like,
no,
I want to hear like
they have like jerseys hanging from the ceiling. Absolutely,
I'm not a sports person.
But I want like if you were gonna open a bar, right, and you were gonna be so successful, what does it look like? Both of you.
I have a great answer for this. I have a whole Pinterest board. It's very annoying.
Okay, let's move on.
To look now.
Okay, fine. Elena, you go.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, I'm curious, Abby.
Abby, go ahead. Sorry, I was just kidding.
It's gonna be the walls are gonna be white. The tile's gonna be white. Everything is gonna be very white and then gold accents. but the furniture is going to be like a dark leather.
Okay.
And it's all going to be like the bar at Will at Cocktails. It's just going to be like a cocktail bar, a whiskey bar, a bourbon bar, like a tequila bar, because you can even do the tequila tastings like you do the bourbon and whiskey tastings. That's the goal. It's very clean, very fresh, very old school leather, good drinks.
Okay.
Good tastings.
So I see mine less as a restaurant and more as like a retailer that can transform into doing cocktail classes. I like education as well.
Yep.
So I think I like the idea of doing dinner parties, like cocktail education or like alcohol education, whatever liquor it is, education. And I love coffee shops, and I like cocktail bars or tapas bars. So I could see like not a food focused place, more focused on the conversation, the experience, and the hands-on learning than the place itself. Me, on the other hand, I love very masculine, quote unquote, decor items. So I like blue walls, black walls, leather couches, like what you would imagine as a cigar bar. Like I like industrial looking exposed brick, like really large open spaces, like how Element was when they first opened, like the big tall back chairs. I loved their space, their design, everything. I actually do really, if I had a secondary option, I love Nixta's space. I love anything Latin American, so I like the bright blue colors, the tiles, that kind of stuff. So
I was just laughing at her with her flowers over there. Sorry.
This is a thing. It's weird.
It's a thing that's not a thing.
So Elena and I are not going to have the same space, which is
You can do side by side.
We'll have like an Elena and then an Abby, but it's going to be called the Bourbon and Blondes. Like you walk in, and then depending on your mood, you choose which side you go to.
The bourbon or the blonde. You can be the bright space. You can be the blonde, and I'll be the bourbon.
There you go.
Okay, great. Next question, rapid fire go. This is failing as rapid fire.
This is me?
Yeah.
You just keep asking
like
until
rapid fire questions.
I'm out. Like,
Brad, I sent you a list of 39 questions.
So here's my question, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was your no one gets into bourbon from nowhere, right? Like, what was your gateway to bourbon?
Bourbon.
Right, like we all grow up drinking Natty Light and vodka. So what got you to like take the leap to what we are now?
I was once told, because I was obsessed with being thin as a 20-year-old, and I was once told that if you drink vodka and water, that was a way to not gain weight while drinking alcohol. So there was one New Year's Eve, my sister will literally probably pee herself laughing hearing this story. We all wore wigs and we went out in New York City and we did a New Year's Eve party, and I drank so many vodka waters because I don't have a threshold for vodka. This was like when I was 23, 24 in all fairness.
It's like I have a vodka tonic and lime.
It's like celery. You lose weight when you drink it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
I was drinking the celery juice of the alcohol world, and I ended up throwing up so hard in the bathroom that I thought I lost my wig, like at some point, because we were all wearing wigs for New Year's. Anyway, long and short it was, after that I was like, I'm done with like vodka and beer. I was a real big beer connoisseur for a really long time, and that kind of shifted me. Like both my grandpa and my dad both drank whiskey, and so I was like, let me try it. And I don't know, I just preferred it. I like you, we were talking about earlier, like I started off on Jack Daniels and Jack and Coke, a lot of whiskey and sodas, which slowly progressed into realizing that I liked ryes and I like scotch. And I will say, I was in Jameson, the distillery, and I was told by my hostel, the place I was staying in my hostel, they're like, when you go to the distillery, you got to raise your hand real quick in order to get like asked to do, there's only 10 people or 10 or 15 people that get to do the actual tasting, and they do a blind tasting, and they do 2 Irish or 3 Irish whiskeys and a Scotch. And so I was like raising my hand before the video even went off, and they picked me. I actually have a certificate probably in this back area over here that says like I graduated from Jameson School. Right behind the penguin. Yeah. He's holding it actually. It's his graduation certificate. And that's when I was like, oh God, this is probably like 7 or 8 years ago. That's when I was like, okay, I'm not, in all fairness, I do like their, what is it? Their black barrel, the Jameson black barrel or something barrel. It's their like black labeled Jameson, but I'm not a huge Irish whiskey fan. But that was then I was like, okay, let me dabble into some other stuff.
Yeah.
Abigail?
About 5 years ago, I walked into Gamelin Whiskey House, sat down, and said, "Pour me a drink." And
wow, that was way shorter.
That was her. She understands what rapid fire is. Me and Brad are like,
you guys are
let me tell you a story.
Done.
No, it was, I showed up to the bar. I just sat down. I lived 2 blocks away, and I just went in there, and I was like, okay, I'll have a drink. And they're like, well, what are you having? I'm like, what do you have? And they started listing things, and I was like, okay, I don't know bourbon and whiskey. I'd like to know bourbon and whiskey. So whatever you pour me, you got to tell me a story. And that went on for probably 2 years with those exact same bartenders.
She never left.
Story. 2 years.
Elena, come on.
No, but that's what's cool about like
it's the bartenders. The bartenders make it. If they know what they're talking about and they can tell you a story about what you're drinking, that's everything. And I said that last night. I was like,
well, and I think we all grow up on like, whether you want to admit it or not, but you grow up on shitty bourbon, shitty whiskey, and shitty tequila. When you're 18 years old, you buy a handle of $12 or whatever you can find, right? And then like
schnapps.
Yeah, and like you
schnapps are the worst.
I literally won't drink schnapps now because of
people like
childhood.
Put peppermint schnapps in your hot chocolate. I'm like, jump off a bridge.
Rumplemans! I literally throw up if you open a bottle of Rumplemans. Hell no.
Well, that's how you learn, right? Like you learn what good is after those. Like we grow up, and that's the cool thing about this industry is like spirits are actually really good. Even tequila. Every tequila tasting I do, I'm like, no, you haven't had good tequila, and people love tequila. It's same with whiskey. When you drink good whiskey, you know.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Do you ever? It's just
rapid fire number 2.
Oh, okay.
No, stop it.
Oh, go.
It's my turn.
Okay.
This is only number 2. No, you've asked several questions. You're just not rapid
Brad,
fire.
keep going until you don't want to go anymore.
2.0. What? Whose idea was to buy those hats? Those wreath flower
we've
hats?
had these.
You own those like normally?
Oh yeah, no. I bought this for.
It's like a lay.
But why? Like that was an event or a reason for that, and.
I bought this for a music festival because I go
Whoa, you guys bought those on separate occasions?
No, no, I didn't pay money for mine.
She got laid and she got.
That's not a fact. My cousin's daughter had her 2nd birthday for Moana, and this was the product of it. And I'm like, ooh, I'm going to wear a lay on our quarantine thing.
Well, what happened was Abby showed up wearing it, and I was like, oh, I've got a flower crown that I'll never wear a day in my life, even though I bought it from Forever 21. It was funny. I went with this guy.
You bought that?
I went
Forever 21 with someone you were dating. Get out.
Yeah. No, I didn't go with them, but I showed up. In what I know now, it makes a lot more sense. He was a store
manager. He's real good dude.
I went to a festival with him, which was a horrible experience in itself. And I showed up. I had a bunch of outfits, and I was like trying on outfits before we went to the festival. And I was like, how do you like that? He's like, don't wear that crown. don't wear the flowers. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And now looking at myself while talking, I'm like, yeah, you made a good fucking decision, dude.
Right. Like, beautiful. Stop it.
You know.
You got flowers. Flowers are pretty. It's better than like the cowboy hat.
The honky tonk cowboy hat.
It's gone. We let it go. It's
Mhm.
we're
Next
past
question
that.
and go.
Question?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you done with your rapid fire questions or no?
All right. So my final get to know you question is Kit Kat or Oreo?
Oreo.
Mhm.
Abby, it's rapid fire. Go.
Oh,
She said Oreo. She said Oreo.
fuck
What
the
do you
Kit
got?
Kat, yo.
Kit Kat?
No, fuck the Kit Kat. That's bullshit. That's like a wafer cookies are not cookies.
Oh, they're so
Oreos?
good though.
Oreos are
They're not
vegan.
bad.
But
they're
hold
not
on.
cookies.
Vegetarian.
Let me preference this with you don't get milk with the Oreos. Does that change?
Well,
it?
I don't drink milk, but yeah, no, I can only, so I'm allergic to, I'm intolerant to dairy, and I can't eat very many snacks like a Snickers, which is my favorite. And
Why?
Oreo,
There's
can't.
enough
Well,
dairy and Snickers to not let you have it.
you know what?
She
I
doesn't
mean,
know.
yeah, it depends. But no, I think probably if I had just a baby Snickers, but if I had a Snickers ice cream sandwich,
Oh
that would be a
god,
different
those are so good.
That's not
The
a
Snickers ice cream is
hot, hot farts.
Time out. That's not a Snickers. You went like way beyond what a Snickers is.
Have you ever had the Snickers ice cream sandwich though? They're like, oh, they're
Fucking delicious.
it's
yeah.
life changing.
Yeah.
it is
For you,
good.
it'll kill you. So it's life changing.
It'll just kill whoever she's near because the gas and all of that.
Oh
no
god,
bueno. No bueno.
not good.
No, but Kit Kats are bullshit. So no on the Kit Kat.
Abby, question for you.
Oh god.
What's the most petty thing you've done? That was your question. I want to know.
That's
In
a
my
tough
whole
question.
life?
In your
That's a
whole
tough-
life.
That's a tough question.
Or in the whole week, whatever is most petty for you.
Okay. I have an answer. My building is very old and it's got like the Titanic doors where you have to pull both of them apart with your hand. And like if you get in the elevator and you don't hit your button for your floor before somebody else calls the elevator, it just goes to whatever is signaled first. So I'm on floor 7. If somebody on floor 8 calls it before I hit my floor 7 button, it just pops right up to 8. And so in order to stop the elevator, you have to open the door. Well, it gets to 8. I look the person in the eyes and I just hit 7 and disappear. They're waiting for the elevator, but I'm like, nope, I'm going down. Bye.
Bye, bitch.
And
Sink
I
it.
think I've seen everybody on every floor because like no matter where it stops is the same thing. Like my hand is resting on my floor button. So if you call it to floor 2 through floor 8, like, nope, we're going to me and I'm going to look at you as I leave.
Just cold stare at them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like zero.
Steve
Like
Austin.
it's like the whole like murder, like serial killer, like no reaction.
You're kind of Carol Baskin it right now with that flower.
Okay. I don't watch Tiger King,
You're
but
like Tiger King in it right now.
yeah. Okay,
don't
thank
watch-
you.
No Tiger King? No.
No.
You're missing out.
I never watched it, but I'm such a shithead when it comes to like popular things that I only like for when I only like to get on board like 4 months after it's become popular. I'm just like, I'm not a trendsetter. I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
All right, Elena, the most petty thing you've done.
Oh fuck. You don't have another question? I don't even know how to answer
That's
that.
a tough question.
It's so funny though.
I'm just not very petty.
I'm constantly petty.
Well,
and I
I'm
think that's-
always petty, so I don't know.
But I'm like, so Abby's loud petty. I'm like silently petty. Like, yeah, like I'll do. Oh fuck! I can't even think of things like. I'll like.
No, here's the thing. Elena will text me petty things that she wants to do,
But she won't do it.
I will
do
never
that.
do it. No,
That's because She's the yang of the yin and
Yeah.
yang.
I'm so
I was
scared.
yang.
I'm so scared to hurt people's feelings all the time that I like never do the shit that I wanted. And this is why I love Abby so much, because she just blatantly was like, I don't give a fuck. And I was like, I love that. Like, as long as it's not to me. And I'm like always just so I can think of like 5,000 things I've probably texted Abby, and I was like, I'm gonna do this shit to be petty, but then I don't. I can think of things that I've done that were crazy, but not petty. Like,
No, I'm petty. Elena's just chaotic.
I remember like showing up to an ex-boyfriend who cheated on me's house with one of my friend's best friends with like a baseball bat to his car, but I never hit it. In all fairness, never hit it. I just wanted, this was also when I was like 18 years old. I also just like threatened to make him scared out of his like just scared, but did never do anything and then went off on him. But this is like the level of petty I get to, is I'm just like, I'm gonna make you scared of me, but then you're like, not so scary because you won't do a fucking thing.
Okay, so don't cross Elena. Lesson learned.
No.
What's your next rapid fire question? Because let's move on.
I go from 0 to either like I'm very nice and I'm either 0, and then it takes a lot to piss me off, like an obscene amount of shit to piss me off. And then if I go off on you, like blatantly go off on you, like just to your face, it's probably not good. But not good. Not great. Not ideal.
If you went off on me with that flower crown, I'd probably laugh at you.
Yeah, and like with a big flower crown and a baseball bat, that'll get you.
It will get you. What's everyone's dream career? Ooh. Like, if you could have one job, doesn't matter your education, doesn't matter anything, like your one job outside. And
I could make enough money to not worry about anything.
It doesn't matter. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about anything. If you picked a job, it could be obscure. It could be a fucking, you could pick up penguin poop at the zoo. Whatever the job is, that's not ideal. But what is the one job? I mean, for some
you don't know that I don't want to get penguin poop. You don't know.
I mean, what's your ideal job then, Brad? Penguin poop scooper?
So my ideal job is kind of what I do now, but also I've always wanted to own my own venue, right? Like
same. Yep.
So yeah, I'm a cigar lover. I'm a whiskey lover. I love tequila. So my dream, like, business plan that I've been building is I want to own a property like 30, 40 acres, and I want to host weddings because there's a lot of money in weddings, right? Like
I got you. I got you, Brad.
The markup is sickening.
Like just renting out the space alone is stupid. I agree.
Stupid, right? Like I've done that. So I want to have a place where I can have a normal bar Monday through Thursday, and it's like a lounge with members where you can come smoke cigars, drink whiskey, have tequila. But then on the weekends, I rent it out, and it's a beautiful space, whether it's a tree farm or a lake or whatever. And it's just like, I'm just going to make money off you being here. Like $4,000. Yeah. You want to come have a wedding here? Check. I'm done. Like, there's so much money in that event space atmosphere that's my dream job.
Okay.
Interesting. I love that.
Let's go into business.
Brad, I was going to say, Brad, all three of us need to go into business together because we all have to. Abby's the finance and the numbers girl. She can think of all that. I'm the event planning and understanding that. I mean, we both do the bit. All three of us can do the business side.
And then Brad got the booze.
Yeah.
And the food and all of the other things.
I'll get you the deals on the booze. Can we lose the hats, though? Can we lose the crowns before we go to the banker?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not
yet.
I'm just kidding. But no, that's like that's the dream job, is like an event space where and you see it now, even with like COVID, like all these weddings and venues, they're just pushing back their spaces.
Everybody.
Now everyone has like Thursday weddings, and like this, it doesn't go away. It's not a business that's gonna die. It's just gonna move. So that's my dream. What's your dream?
Well, so two things now that you said that. So I'll start with my first one. So what it's always been
my assistant manager. You're welcome.
It feels aggressive.
Co-owner, whatever title you want.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
Why does Brad think he can be our boss?
Did you say Brett or Brad? My name's Brad.
Is that Brad?
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Just
All right,
how
go ahead.
the turkey.
So I'll start off by saying I've always wanted to own an event space. I mean, I've been in the event business, the hospitality business my entire life. Well, for pretty much like since I was 16, like pretty much my entire career. And so Abby disappeared. So I would love to
Deuces.
yeah, I know, right? Good thing this thing's still going on.
Right.
So I would love to do an event space as well. Like I've been a wedding photographer for 4 or 5 years. So I know, what that side is. I know all the vendors I like, whether it's, or just all the vendors in the business, but also the ones I like working with, whether it's florals, catering, all the different things. But I totally agree. Like event space is a lot of fun because you have, and the wedding business specifically, but even the corporate sector, depending on how you allocate space and manage it, you can definitely do the corporate side. A lot of corporate sides go to, because I worked in a corporation for the last 12 years, it's more hotel side, but I think they're becoming more creative on how, depending on the industry, they're becoming more creative about how they handle and hold events. And so anyway, no, I totally agree. I don't know if that would, honestly, I kind of like a more not a city event space. I like something a little bit more
1 hour outside of the city, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I would do Illinois, honestly. Like if I was to opt for anything, I grew up in St. Charles, so there's actually a pretty couple decent spaces I can think off the top of my head in St. Charles, but I would like a little bit more rural space because I like that country rustic type look to an event space, and I like either exposed brick. There's a place off of, I'm totally like blanking right now, but there's a space off Shaw that's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
I know exactly who you're talking
on the corner, and it used to be an old theater, and the owners are, first of all, they're absolutely amazing. They renovated. It used to be an old theater, and
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's beautiful wedding venue.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Hold on, I'll look while we're talking, but
it's nothing special. Which, no offense to them, but like it's a brick old building, but it doesn't take much with like these event spaces, and that's my dream is to like you just make a beautiful venue and you just rent it out.
Yeah, it's Wild Carrot. So Creative Mornings had an event there. Creative Mornings is one of my girlfriends, Sam. For anyone tuning in, like Creative Mornings is absolutely awesome. So anyone who deems themselves creative, has ever done anything creative. So everyone's creative. The whole concept behind Creative Mornings, everyone's creative. And they have new speakers like really, I mean, one of the guys who were behind the MLS Stadium and STL Made, he came and talked at Wild Carrot, and he was absolutely amazing. So you get to like network and meet a lot of awesome people. But Wild Carrot, I would say, was one of those spaces that if I could have gotten in that neighborhood during that time, that space is really fucking cool. But I agree with that second job without a doubt. I'd love to be, I have a favorite photographer named, I think it's Chris Picard. I don't know how to pronounce his last name exactly, but he's a surfer. He surfs in like Iceland and very random places. And
Wait, you can surf in Iceland?
Yeah, he surfed in Iceland. I didn't surf in Iceland. I've surfed in like South America.
I know. Iceland feels cold.
It is absolutely
situation.
But he's a Nat Geo photographer. He does photography for everyone, but he's on Nat Geo a lot. Does a lot
Brad's over here laughing like, yeah, fucking Iceland is cold, you guys.
Yeah, I've been there. I mean, I wouldn't go surfing. Brad,
you're wearing a flower crown. Did you mute your microphone?
Should we do the rapid fire questions now? Because I feel like everyone's kind of drunk now. So
here we go. Fire.
I would be a Nat Geo photographer. Would be the other one. Abigail.
My other career?
Yeah.
I would own a bar.
Don't do it.
No food.
No.
No food. I would own just like a booze bar. Like you come in, you get cocktails, you get drinks, you get pours, and then you get the fuck out if you're hungry.
What bar in St. Louis would you model yourself after? A little bit.
Even in St. Louis?
Not exactly, but like what's your...
So the small change actually kind of came to mind when Abby said that, because they did the and I don't know their model or anything, but they're owned by Planters House.
You said small change. Do you mean small batch?
No, small change. So it's owned by Planters House, and they did. It's like it's a very, very small space, and it's right
no shit. Small change.
Hold on, you guys are yin and yanging. This is her business idea.
But when you said that, like, I loved the idea of doing the pop-up bar aspect of, because that's what
we're not doing jingle in Christmas times.
No, this isn't Christmas or Halloween. Like, you gotta have a 12-month bar.
But they're in a small like they're in an area that can circulate.
Abby, mute her. I want to hear your dream plan.
Wait. Oh,
your dream plan.
Bye, Elena.
Bye.
My dream plan?
Yes. What's your bar? What's your bar that you're gonna open?
Honestly,
yeah,
it would be cocktails, bourbon, whiskey, tequila. No vodka, no gin, no nothing of that sort. It would be very direct. And if you come in my bar asking for food, I'll look at you and say, you know what? The closest food places you can order are these. Go ahead. But I don't do food. I know what I like to eat, but I'm not going to provide that at a bar.
There's a place in Louisville that does a speakeasy. They charge outrageous prices for their
prices are fucking stupid.
Okay, their prices are stupid, but
for the service you get, the cocktail should be $5.
Abby got a really. I've been to this place like 3 or 4 times, and this place is usually
Hell or High Water.
Oh,
Hell or High Water, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Abby had a really
your service is very important.
A very I mean, we all were there, but like out of the times that I've ever been there, this was by far the most desperate, worst experience. He did not know how to talk to people at all. Mm-hmm. Like he just had no concept. He was
the model for Gucci, so it's okay.
It was so bad. It was so bad. But in all fairness, and their cocktails are too expensive, but I like a speakeasy vibe like Thaxton
never
does.
Charge $25 for a cocktail. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I like the concept of Thaxton. I just don't like the space they're in. I like kind of like the old.
Wait.
No, it's not Thaxton. Thaxton is in St. Louis.
No, I'm saying like kind of. I'm just giving you another example of a speakeasy.
I love Thaxton. Agree with Brad.
I think it's I like the space, but what I was trying to say was
about Hell or High Water in Louisville.
I know. I'm well aware.
Okay.
I'm well aware.
Okay.
So Hell and High Water has that bookshelf.
Can I change the subject?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's rewind. New rapid fire question because that was,
we're getting way off track. What's your favorite cereal?
Oh,
Captain Crunch,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh God, cut her off. Captain Crunch.
What?
What's yours?
Bitch, what?
Captain Crunch?
What are you telling to cut?
Me. He's telling me.
Cinnamon. Oh.
What's yours?
I don't eat cereal, but.
Brad, what is your favorite cereal? Why am I cut off?
You're done. Captain Crunch? Captain Crunch actually is pretty good.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is delicious.
I'll go Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's
because you get the it's like rum chata. You should put rum chata and milk in your Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and it literally will be the most amazing thing ever.
Okay, next question, because I got vetoed. Next question.
Fire away. Am I doing it?
Yeah.
I'm out of questions. Hold on.
What?
Your biggest pet peeve. Everyone's biggest pet peeve.
Is hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Oh. I saw this being an argument on somebody else's face. I think Nicole, Nicole that does Jay Rieger, she was talking about a hot dog being a sandwich. No, it's not. It's not a sandwich.
A fucking hot dog. It's not a sandwich.
Is 2 pieces of bread that are separated.
Like a
Yeah,
hot dog.
hot dog's a
No,
fold
Hot dog's
situation.
fold.
they got to fold. It's together by one weedy piece.
Wait,
Like,
here's a question. Do
We-
you slice your hot dog down the middle and fry both sides, or do you just do like the whole
the whole
sausage
thing. The whole
What
thing.
are you
Oh no,
talking
you're doing it
about?
wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Slice your
Mm-mm.
hot dog. Who
Yeah.
are you? Oh my god!
Hmm.
All right, fire away.
Next
Someone else.
question, go.
No, I'm
Last
done.
one.
Your
Last
most
one. You
useless
get one
talent.
What was your question, Elena?
Your most useless talent. I can burp on command.
Do it.
Oh.
You asked.
I did, Brad. Didn't you're
Burp
welcome.
on command? You can't burp on command, Brad.
No, I can't. I don't know how to do that.
It is so easy. You just gotta get air in the esophagus and let it go. Abby wants to do it again. She's like,
Are you from Franklin County?
Nope.
no, Crawford?
Oh, all right. Okay.
No. I have a lake house at Crawford County.
Yeah,
so
you're good enough.
Same
I don't-
question to you, Brad. Go.
What?
your most
Can you-
useless talent.
Yeah. What is it?
I don't know that I have a useless talent.
Mm-mm. Everybody does.
Can you do the robot? I feel like that's another useless talent.
I'm not a good dancer.
Are any of us really?
No.
No.
You guys, this whole live situation was supposed to take 30 minutes, and we're an hour and a half in.
This is just
Bad.
shows us that we could talk for entirely too fucking long.
You guys fucked it up. I blame you.
This is why I love you guys, because we just talk all night.
Well, your useless talent is making hearts.
I can do the
man.
like clover leaf with my tongue.
What?
Oh, that's a great talent.
Is
Can
that
I
a
do it?
talent?
Can you have you ever done a strawberry or not a strawberry, a cherry stem
A
with your
strawberry?
tongue?
Well, once,
Oh, you mean
once,
tied it?
once I made a giraffe, but it could count.
Wait, I'm
Is
sorry.
that a balloon
giraffe?
animal?
No,
What did I?
kidding.
Bob said, "What the fuck did I stumble upon?" Yeah. You're right,
Hey,
Bob.
Bob.
That is a very, very, very good question. What did you stumble upon? People doing. I
What's-
can't do anything like that.
I look
I don't
like
even-
I look like I. I think I'm gonna puke on you guys.
You guys,
I don't need to.
that's
no.
terrible.
No.
Yeah, that counts as a clover.
Can you
That's
roll your
definitely-
tongue like a roll of the tongue? Like this? Yeah, you can do it.
I've got a question for you, Brad. I feel like you can commiserate with me on a level to 0 to 10, and 10 being the most hated. How much do you hate the live, laugh, love signs?
The live, laugh, love sign.
Do you have one in your kitchen?
Yeah, like one of those that people put in their house. They're like, live, laugh, love, family forever.
I'm definitely not that guy. Like I don't. I don't.
12.
Yeah. Like
Have you ever
I'm not
been
a
into
fan of
somebody's
the-
house?
I'm not a fan of the like initials on bags and
Oh,
Word.
monograms. You mean monograms?
monogram. Yeah, I'm not.
Mhm.
That's just not my thing. I don't know.
Mhm.
So 12. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
not me.
Okay. Interesting.
Feel you. Feel you. If you, I think this question was really good. If you were giving a 1-minute ad slot during a Super Bowl that you
Ooh,
couldn't sell, what would you fill it with? What would you fill a 1-minute ad with if you weren't selling liquor, you weren't selling anything? What would you just got 1 minute? What would you fill it with?
Fill a minute. Go. 60 seconds.
I really feel like as a culture, we just don't take care of each other enough. So something along the lines of we just like be nice. Like we're,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, like you follow these pages and you follow these websites, and I'm sure you guys see it where like the more popular you get, you're just people, there's trolls and there's people that are just rude.
Mhm.
And let's just like be nice to each other. Like it's all everyone's trying to do better. So
And everyone's struggling right now. Right
Yeah.
now.
we're in a shitty time. So
No
just
one's
be
having
nice,
a good time home alone.
be nice to each other.
Mhm.
How I would envision that commercial going is a bunch of chicks on a beach wearing small bikinis, and they are running down the beach with small bikinis. Imagine, what's that model, the busty model, the really cute blonde chick? Did anyone know?
Kate Upton?
Yeah, Kate Upton. Bunch of Kate Uptons running down the beach, and behind them is a bunch of golden retrievers running down the beach as well. And then at the very end of the commercial,
Are you doing marketing for PetSmart?
No. At the very end, it says, "Stop fucking around. Start being fucking nice to people." Like that is my Super Bowl commercial. People would be like, "Oh my God, I see tits. Oh my God, I see puppies." So it would the men would light up, the women would light up, and they would all be together in the commercial, and they'd be like, "Tits and puppies," and they'd be like, "Yeah, we should start being fucking nice to people. You're right. Fuck this shit."
It's like that
Tits and puppies.
Budweiser and then Babe Wine did it today, where it's like I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't know if you follow Budweiser on the Instagram, but Bourbon and Blondes does, and it was like. All of a sudden, Budweiser popped up as my first Instagram post, and I was like, okay, scroll past, like, don't care about Budweiser. And it just kept fucking going. It was the, what's up situation.
They're blowing it up right now.
It was so long, but they're not the only company doing it. Like, Babe's Wine is doing it. And I'm like, get out of my face. You guys have these like 30-page long Instagram posts, and I don't understand how to make them go away. They just stayed there. That's what I picture
Bob thinks we should have tits and puppies as a t-shirt. Bourbon and Blondes logo on the back. Tits and puppies.
Disagree.
I don't.
Brad, would you wear it?
I mean, I might wear it.
If it went to like the Humane Society, like 10% with the Humane Society,
sure. I'm a sucker for charity.
Yeah.
Okay, bring it on. Let's do it. Oh, we should get by Jack to do it. Yep. Signed up.
There we go.
Okay.
Any other questions, Brad, you got before we log off?
I'm out.
As we asked for 30 minutes of your time, and here we are at almost 2 hours. So.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to just throw some weird questions out, and it's one word answers. And
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do 5 of them. All right. Chocolate cake or carrot cake? Both of you.
Carrot cake.
Chocolate.
Carrot.
Okay. Favorite color?
Green.
Blue.
Impulsive or methodical?
Impulsive.
Methodical.
Logic or creativity?
Logic?
Creativity. I hate you already.
Literally the opposite of everything. Favorite vacation destination?
Oh.
Like that we've been to, or
just
that we
anything.
Great.
Ireland?
How do you like your steak cooked?
Medium rare.
Oh,
On the grill.
I think we can end it right there. That's perfect. That was perfect. Oh shit.